Good evening. This is James Hawk with Grand Canyon University, and we are going to talk about people management in the United States Air Force. What is people management? People management is defined as a set of practices that encompasses the end-to-end processes of talent acquisition, talent optimization, and talent retention while providing continued support for the business and guidance for the employees of an organization. People management is very, very, very important in the Air Force. It starts from the very beginning. The current Air Force people management style starts at the very, very beginning when someone joins the Air Force. Recruiting tools such as the ASVAB are taken. It's the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. It's a series of tests that scores airmen's knowledge and abilities in your basic academic areas, math, science, mechanics, that type of thing, in hopes to better pair them with a job that fits their natural skills and abilities. That way the airman has a better time transitioning, and the service is actually further enhanced by what they bring to the fight. Another way we manage in the Department of Defense is through our varied cultures. We appeal to certain lifestyles. Every sister service has a different culture and a different mission, which gives it a different lifestyle appeal. If you are a born warrior and that's what you want to do, maybe the Marine Corps is something you're interested in. If you like being on the water, you love to sail the 7 seas, fresh air, freedom, and water, then the Navy. And so on and so forth with the Air Force and the Army. Now, granted, Air Force doesn't all fly planes. That's our primary mission. That's what we do, is air support and space and cyber. So that has its own group of people that are interested in what we do. So if you have someone who's interested in cybersecurity, the Army and Marine Corps might have that to a small degree, but not to the extent that the Air Force does. And the cultures, then the way that we advertise, you will never see a cybersecurity commercial for the Marine Corps. They want warriors, but you will see them for the Air Force. So we appeal to certain lifestyle from the very get-go as a way of talent management. Talent management is the two-track career for all branches of the military. There's officer enlisted. To be an officer, you have to show up with a 4-year degree and have a bachelor's degree completed, and you will start at a higher level of responsibility, higher level of pay, and a higher rank. Enlisted, there is no academic requirement for the Air Force other than a a high school diploma. We'll talk a little bit about education levels a little bit on as far as people management. And another portion of people management in the Air Force is we have to home grow every member of the service. We cannot have a general or a colonel do a poor job and then just hire someone from the outside. We have to grow them internally. Now we can move people around inside, but it's not like we could reach like CEO. CEO fails a program or gets fired. You can't go steal a CEO from another company, plug him in, teach him the culture, and let him move on. We have to home grow everyone. So that creates a unique challenge when managing people in the Air Force. Potential people mismanagement areas that the Air Force is doing in their people management plan. Not utilizing such a highly educated force. Mentioned earlier that 100% of officers have at least a bachelor's degree, 50% have a master's, and 50% have a higher, either a doctoral or professional degree. Furthermore, despite not having an education requirement other than a high school diploma to join the enlisted force, 10% of our enlisted members have bachelor's degrees, and nearly 60% all have some college, and I think 20% have associate's degrees. So in comparison to every other branch of the service, we are a very, very educated force, which doesn't always get translated. So if an enlisted member has a bachelor's degree in area of study A, but he's currently working in area career field B, there's no way to translate that over and pull him to where his degree is and maybe enhance that part of the organization. Right now, we're not talent matching roles very well. This program of talent matching and talent management in the Air Force is very much in its infancy stage, to where career fields are looking at matching talent, but we're not doing it in a broad section. So I'm an air traffic controller. Within air traffic control, once you get to the higher ranks, the E7 and above, the enlisted ranks, we start talent matching. We look at someone's breadth of experience, their history, and then we look at higher level jobs that are available with people moving in and out and see where we can line their strengths and put them in a good role. Or if they're demonstrating a significant amount of potential, move them into a role that they might not quite be ready for, but they could grow into. So we need to work on that a little bit better. Another thing is, with retention, is creating arbitrary rules that ruin morale. This is a huge issue right now, especially in the age of COVID. While each state is doing their own things and different organizations are doing their own things, we're having trouble retaining individuals because, for example, I live in the state of Mississippi. COVID restrictions are very laxed. However, on the Air Force Base, they're much stricter. And it's very demoralizing to individuals when they see everyone, their neighbors, their families, everyone's allowed to go out and, say, sit down and eat at a restaurant, that restaurants that are open, but they can't. They cannot travel more than 2 hours away. They can't go to certain areas. While the intent of these rules isn't bad and the intent is to protect the force, a secondary order of effect is that members are getting out because they want to choose to live their own lives. And while they're in the Air Force, their morale is extremely low because they're angry all the time because they're being hindered from doing something as simple as going to the gym, which is open, or eating in a restaurant, which is also open. So it's not good for retention. The linear contract we also have a linear contract that stifles innovation because the FAA and the Air Force work, the Federal Aviation Administration and the Air Force work so closely together, and the Air Force has lots of training regulations and rules. It does not allow for innovation. You cannot deviate from these regulations and rules or else you get in trouble. So someone who is innovative and finds a better way to do business wants to bring this to the Air Force. There's so much bureaucracy to make that the new procedure. By the time it is the new procedure, it's already outdated. So too linear, not enough room for innovation. Cultural design and structure. I think everyone would understand that the Air Force is a bureaucratic culture and has a bureaucratic structure. We're very tier-based and rank-based. What makes the Air Force unique from its sister services is we identify differently than the other branches. We identify more closely with our career field and what we do than the service as a whole. So if someone's in the Marine Corps and you ask them what they do for a living, they'll say, I'm a Marine. If someone's in the Air Force and they ask me what I'm going to do, what I do for a living, I will say I'm an air traffic controller in the United States Air Force. We tend to more closely identify with our jobs, which plays big into people management because our job is what we do. Culture of the military, and of course the cultures are different between the branches there, but everyone knows the culture of the military due to the movies. There's thousands of movies glorifying the culture and celebrating and documenting the culture of those that are bonded in military service. Conscious culture. Conscious culture fosters love, cares, and builds trust between companies, team members, and its other stakeholders. Based on the conscious culture definition from Conscious Capitalism, the U.S. Air Force is absolutely a conscious culture. We build love and trust between the members and our organizations. Cotter's 8-step model. Create urgency, form a powerful coalition, create a vision for change, communicate the vision, remove obstacles, create short-term wins, build on change, and anchor changes in the corporate culture. Following Cotter's steps, not one for one as we go, but following the outline, the construct of Cotter's plans, the implementation plan to improve the people management process would be as such. Starts with talent managing in the recruiting stage. So instead of once they become a senior member, then start looking at their skills. When we're doing ASVAB and stuff like that at the very first stage, we're going to start talent managing, taking what people are bringing to the team and utilizing it appropriately at the beginning versus just a vocational test. We're going to take members' education and we're going to be more responsible with the information we get. Not that we're we're irresponsible with it, but we're going to take the information and start really looking for areas to utilize a member's strengths once they complete education and use it to the needs of the Air Force. Not only will that better the organization, the member's going to be happier knowing that the work they've done to agree to get the certification or degree is paying off, and that's what they're pursuing. Streamline pathways to innovate in more career fields. Stop putting up so much red tape. Cut the bureaucracy down. If someone's got a good idea, quickly evaluate it, quickly standardize it, quickly get it out to the force so it's able to be used before it's obsolete. And then obviously abolish nonsense policies and rules. Goes without saying. Challenges to redesign, obviously the size of the Air Force. There's so many people in the Air Force that getting these new changes out and implementing them will be a little bit difficult, getting everyone on board. It's a slower process. Competition is going to be a problem. If we have 500 members applying for 3 jobs, the competition is going to be very stiff. So if we only hire 3 people out of the 500, there is a very significant chance that over 300 of those people are actually very viable and good choices for the job. Just figuring out what we should do instead of just wasting that talent is going to be a challenge. And then finally, physical locations. Just because the Air Force not only is large in numbers, we're geographically separated all over the world, any kind of major change takes time to implement. Managing cultural change, we're going to give supervisors the ability to gauge members' talents and match them to fitting roles at the local level, so it's not only done institutionally at the beginning. Me as a supervisor could look at my troops, say this guy's awesome at XYZ, he's going to go focus on XYZ. After recruiting initiatives, we're going to alter recruiting initiatives to better match a recruit with the career field. It goes in waves. Recruiters have quotas, so if a certain career field, say firefighting, is short on people, they're going to push people currently to join the firefighting corps because that's where they need people. That is understandable, but it's not the best way to do business when managing our people. And finally, when a better practice is discovered, like I mentioned earlier, get rid of the bureaucracy, implement it, and move forward with the change. So these are my thoughts on improving the culture and the people management for the United States Air Force. Thank you for your time.